we need to sit down essentially and talk about all of this because they have information as well regarding Milford High School.
So think how wild this is. Real court TV type stuff in little old Clermont County because of the Watchdog Wire LLC, a real press company in Clermont County. Visiting Judge Jerry McBride did what judges with the Clermont County DNA do, violate the rules of superintendence. So I had filed a request to record a particular hearing involving a woman named Brittany Thomason and Bill Thomas. I knew Judge McBride was very well aware of the request because I submitted a couple days ago. And in the court, before it started, Nathan Schuller, who was acting as bailiff, brought me a different form saying the judge just wanted me to use this different form for my request, which I filled out the form and gave it back to Nathan. So when the hearing started, I was recording, and then sort of midstream, probably early in the hearing, I just basically get tossed out. I'd done nothing disruptive. There had been no stipulations put on me, nor were there any objections made to the judge by Miss Thomason until the hearing was going on. And then immediately I was kicked out. It was said by Miss Thomason, completely false, completely made up, that I was in some sort of conspiracy with Bill Thomas to be there to record, to humiliate her in some way. That is completely false. And so just so everybody knows, I was there because I had a general interest in it because there's been this kind of tit for tat protection order stuff going on between various people. And so I wanted to come to one of the hearings. I knew that she was involved with the complaint about the Milford, the covered up situation involving a Milford wrestling coach. And I actually wanted to meet her and thought it would be interesting to meet her. And I was going to ask her if she wanted to talk about that separately from the hearing. But also Jerry McBride, the judge who let Ubel off, completely bogus. That was an interest to me. But you know what was the most interest to me was that I wanted to test out whether I could actually live stream from a courtroom in Clermont County. And so it worked. There's some flaws. I got to work them out, but I can do it. The technology I have works, got some kinks. I think the kinks are mostly due to internet bandwidth. I need to get that up a little bit. But now my intent, having achieved those things, and by the way, Jerry McBride made a fool out of himself by kicking me out of the courtroom. This is how these people give me kind of the talking points of they just constantly reinforce their idiocy. So on the point of live streaming, what I've shown, and I took a clip from today and I put it. So imagine this, Clermont County. Not only do I have the technology to be able to live stream from a courtroom, which is a protected right under Rule 12 of the Rules of Superintendence, but I could do it. I could have a technician set up the camera, and then
Bill shared that post to his page sometime close to the end of.
Could mute them, could bring it up, could give live commentary,
Old associate who I considered maybe a friend at the time responded in the comments to back me up and essentially say he knows me and trusts me and that we need to sit down essentially and talk about all of this because they have information as well regarding Milford High School.
So think how wild this is. Real court TV type stuff in little old Clermont County because of the Watchdog Wire LLC, a real press company in Clermont County.
Can you raise your right hand?
By the way, this is when...
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give before this court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
I hate to do this, but I'm going to ask you to start.
Oh.
So that part, the little clip I put there, is particularly emblematic of stuff they want to hide in Clermont County. We had a visiting judge so edel-minded he forgot to swear people in. They started the hearing. She goes for a while. Then he remembers he forgot to swear people in. Then they have to do it, and then she has to start over. Okay, so, there's a reason our court system doesn't want transparency about what goes on there. It's because they need to up their game. They need to up their game in terms of professionalism, respect, adherence to the law, adherence to the rules, and on and on and on. So after I got tossed, because I got tossed by Judge Jerry McBride, and you can watch everything that happened, he claimed I was disruptive, which is complete nonsense. Okay, all I did was respond. I did nothing. I responded to questions he asked me, but he didn't ask me any real questions. He was clearly on a political warpath. But after I got tossed, I made a recording out in the hallway. And now that I've shared with you how this can work, that Watchdog Wire can do live court case streamings, let me play for you and take a gander at what I said right after I got tossed out of the hearing.
So I just got tossed from the courtroom behind me for daring to record, after having filed a proper request, a particular hearing in matter 2025 CVP 00880. So the matter that was taking place is a civil protection order hearing relating to a woman named Brittany Thomason and Bill Thomas. It's part of an ongoing soap opera. Jerry McBride, who invented new law to let David Ubel off the hook in David Ubel's falsification trial, just invented new law that if, I guess, any witness objects to being video recorded, that the press is not allowed to record any video at all of a particular hearing. It's completely insane, it is completely wrong, and it is completely political. So as usual in Clermont County, the behavior is only going to cause more scrutiny, and frankly, the model of visiting judges. Jerry McBride is an aged out hack judge at this point. He was a hack judge before, like when he let Ubel off for political reasons, saying that Ubel was not charged in the right venue, when the underlying transaction involved in Ubel's felony case was a transaction that took place in the Home Depot parking lot in Clermont County. So Jerry McBride is aged out. He can't run for judge, but in Ohio, these aged out, retired, able-minded people stay on as visiting judges, and they come hear effectively what are controversial cases. As an example of that able-mindedness, Jerry McBride forgot to swear in anybody at the beginning of the hearing. None of the people are attorneys. So they did a whole part of the hearing on motions without anybody being sworn in when people are talking and testifying. Then they started the proper hearing on the CPO, and he forgot to swear anybody in.
Bill shared that post to his page sometime close to the end of May. That's how I began to become aware of who Bill Thomas was. In the comments, an old associate who I considered maybe a friend at the time responded in the comments to back me up and essentially say he knows me and trusts me, and that we need to sit down essentially and talk about all of this because they have information as well regarding Milford High School. So these two men had an interest in meeting with me to get details. I can start over and swear in.
So you go ahead and swear.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give before this court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
I hate to do this, but I'm going to ask you to start. Okay.
So how can you rely on judges who don't even remember that they have to swear people in to be competent to hear cases? There's a reason why judges age out in Ohio. Jerry McBride should not be hearing any cases. Frankly, the visiting judge system in Ohio that is largely retired, able-minded old judges who can't run for office and are totally unaccountable to the public is an affront to the citizens of Ohio.